Okay, today on your painting, I want you to get the background done and the construction paper. Both of those are pretty easy. The construction paper has a little shadow on it, a cast shadow, which is different than a shadow on the object. But it's really important that you get those two things done first before we start painting the objects. Okay, I do want to review something real quick. When looking at this object, there are, just like the video that we talked about yesterday, we saw yesterday, so you should saw the Ed puzzle by the guy from Australia with that accent. There's a highlight. See where it's light? I can do this and it's a light orange. It's kind of an orangey red right there. And this is the base color is more straight red. And then in here, can you see it? It's kind of the shadow of this 3, it's here and here, it's darker, and it's actually darker here too. There's really technically hundreds of colors in here, but we're going to simplify it to 3. If you get to those 3, then it can look three-dimensional, even with just 3 different changes in the top, the base color, and then that shadow color. So I want you to be, I hope that your drawings has that. If you want to bring your drawing into school and make sure that it's drawn correctly, I'm okay with that. It's not a requirement, but that would be great. But let's quickly look at the. All right, so here's my drawing. Hopefully you have your drawing and it looks something like this. I do want you to have the construction paper lines down there, and then your object in 3D. And this can be tricky sometime. To outline it, let me give you a little sense of the final painting. The final painting is going to look more like this, but what I've done is go ahead and outline that. And like I said, what I want to do is paint this background and the construction paper. The background can be one color. I don't care if you've got other things going on here. And let me say this again. Please, please, please set up your still life so you can observe, okay? And if we were here at school, I'd just make this the table color, and I often mix that up for students. And I do that with yellow and a little bit of purple and some white. But personally, keep it light. Use white and something that's not one of these colors. So if you have a red letter, don't use pink. If you have a yellow thing, don't use yellow. Maybe you could do that green or something, or in this case, this brown kind of works. So mix up that color, and then I want you to carefully paint the background. Mix a lot of it up so you can paint the background. Don't forget the in-between parts like this. I know that when kids are painting, they paint this part and they kind of forget about the center there. Let me go ahead and now, for some of my advanced students, I went from light over here to dark over here. You don't have to do that, but if you want to try that. Did you notice I missed the inside here? So make sure that becomes something that you will be aware of. If you have an inside of your letter or number, I want you to paint that now, and there's a little tiny spot right there. The next thing we're going to do is mix up our construction paper. All construction paper, even the black, I don't think I gave out any black, but even the darker colors, you might get a green or a purple or something like that and think it's pretty dark. It is not. In fact, it's toned down a little bit too. So if you're going to, this is a blue piece of paper. To get this blue, and let me just show you on the, here, it is actually toned down a little bit. Meaning it's added a little orange or add a little black to it and a lot of white. Okay, you want to add a lot of white to it. And this part right here, the construction paper really basically has 2 colors. The straight color that it is, and the color of the shadow. Okay, and I'm picking up a little bit of that. So I'm going to paint this next. I'm going to paint all of the parts that does not have a shadow. And hopefully you have a fairly big part that a lot of paint for this. This takes a lot of paint, and you have a nice place that has a nice one light source is the best. One of the things, the worst thing about being at school, and maybe better at being at home, is that at home or at school we have all these lights from the fluorescent light, and fluorescent lights aren't as good as natural lights from home. So I'm going to paint all of this. Now this is, like I say, this is basically one color, and you're going to color it across here like this. But close to the object, we're going to mix a little bit of the opposite color on it. And the opposite of blue is orange, so a little bit of yellow, a little bit of red, and not a lot, should make it a little darker like this. And then I just take that darker color and the lighter color here, and I blend them together a little bit. You get kind of a wet brush and blend them together. If that's a little advanced for you, that's okay. You know, maybe you can skip that step. I'm not actually going to grade that, but you can see it's darker right here. And what I'm doing is I'm mixing it with the light color, and then just taking a wet brush and kind of blending it right here like that to make it. That's how I made that go around. And if you can get the construction paper and the background done today, that would be plenty for today's assignment.